Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. Club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our president, Tala bin Hamid. Tala, you have the podium.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. And it feels fantastic and weird because I just realized that this is my last meeting as president of Leaders Worldwide. And this is the last meeting of our district director, Carolyn, as district director. The beauty of Toastmasters, though, is that when you look back, you only find causes to celebrate. You only find things that we've achieved and things that went well. We are trained to look on the bright side. That does not mean that we are free from accountability, but we are not fixated on negativity. Rather, we celebrate what we achieve. And that's what drives us forward. So today, we are celebrating us. We are celebrating excellence. Excellence in our lives, thanks to Toastmasters. Excellence of this club, which remains one of the best performing clubs, not only in District 57, but on the
Am I the only one that can't hear?
No, I think he's froze.
He's
Oh,
frozen.
okay, I just want to make sure. I'm like,
Yeah, he's frozen. We'll wait just a minute.
you know what it's called? It's called a pause. Remember how you're supposed to pause when you speak?
Yeah, pregnant
Right,
pause.
Carolyn?
A long pause.
long pause.
Oops, did Carolyn drop up? No, she's here.
No, I'm here.
You just moved up on my screen and I didn't see you.
Okay.
Tala, it looks like he's rejoining. What he was saying was amazing.
I don't see Tala in the queue.
I
Looks
think
like he
he's
has dropped off.
rejoining. I think he's rejoining.
all right. Apologies. Just as we were talking about possibility and finishing the year on a high note, God said, hold on a minute. Let me bring you down back to earth. And we lost power. Thank God that it's back now. So today we are celebrating our excellence as a club. We are a club that's privileged to have the district director as one of our members. And not only that, each and every one of our members is a legend in their own right. We listen to them, we get inspired. There's not one person on this call right now that has not changed our lives in some meaningful way over the past year. and we should be thankful for that. So starting with the theme of the meeting, celebrating excellence, we celebrate one excellent year, another excellent year of Leaders Worldwide. And we start with our member, Denise. Would you like to introduce yourself? Also, please pronounce your full name so that I don't butcher it in the future. And just introduce yourself to the club.
Hi, my name is Denise Ray de Gregoire. Many people actually call me D. Ray. First off, I'd like to say how honored I am to be a part of Toastmasters and specifically to be a part of this group. I've been coming on as a guest. It was actually about 9 months ago, day after I got a hip replacement. And I thought I was ready to join that. And it's taken me about 9 months to just last week, jumping in here and there, kind of hearing Cynthia's great emails, kind of see what's going on. And kind of going back a step, in 1991, my father sent me to Dale Carnegie after I went to school to become a school teacher and ended up working in his hydraulic pneumatic distributing company. When he sent me to Carnegie at 24 years old, I discovered for the first time what Toastmasters was. And even our CPA, he was part of the Rotary Club and Toastmasters in South San Francisco. So I was really interested. I wanted to join one of those little live meetings down in South San Francisco. Lived up the peninsula and my life was crazy and full. And fast forward to where I am today, I'm grateful to be a part of this. Just to kind of wrap it up, some things that I believe in strongly, and I don't know is mine. Nothing is what I talk about because, well, in nothing there's something. Sometimes something feels like nothing or nothing feels like anything. So with that said, talking about nothing, there's a lot of things that I talk about. And I really believe that in one way or another, we're all
I'm sorry to interrupt
so
you.
again, I'm
Denise,
to be
Denise, can you hear me? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is not the time for your icebreaker.
No.
I know you have amazing icebreaker,
I'm
but
sorry,
this is just to introduce yourself
well,
to the group.
you know what? I'll say to that, thank you for that. My icebreaker is actually about 4 to 6 minutes, probably 6. What I'm saying today is, hi, I'm really grateful to be here. I've been wanting to for a long time. I just pulled the trigger last week and now met with Cynthia, did all my stuff, and I'm really excited to learn because what I realized is after all these years, when I pulled that trigger of joining Toastmasters, like your black belt, when you get that, when you realize out of all that hard work, nothing. When I joined Toastmasters, I realized, wow, this is big. So my name is Denise de Gregoire, and people, I'm just honored and grateful to be here. And you can call me D. Ray or anything you want. So that's it. This is my intro, and then I'm excited to do that.
All right. Thank you so much, Denise. We can't wait for your icebreaker. We can sense your excitement, and we are excited for you and with you. And we are with you always. So now it's time to move on to the agenda of the meeting. And but before that, I've got, as per the agenda, 2 or 3 minutes. So I took this opportunity to ask our district director, Carolyn, how are you feeling on June the 26th, 4 days away from the end of your tenure?
Well,
Does it feel-
in spite of the thinking that my term of office ends on the 30th of this month, that's a slight fallacy because I still have the role as the immediate past district director. And it means that I am still quite active. I'm not in the primary leadership role, and I lend great support to the new district director, helping to ensure that this massive amount of work that has to be done, that it starts coming about and we get things done in a wonderful way. So I'm still going to be around. I have no intentions of trying to become a regional advisor or anything like that. I'm going to continue to support my team as my team come into this role of being in the primary leadership position. So that's where I am, and I'm still here. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Caroline. And yes, my tenure as immediate past district director is also coming to an end in 4 days. And if anything, it has been even busier than my tenure as a district director. And that is the beauty of Toastmasters. That is the honor that it gives you. You're never allowed to just sit in the corner and do nothing. And it is so enriching. It is so validating. It is so affirming when when leaders reach out and need your help, or they seek your guidance, or they want to involve you in some way. In some ways, that brings even more honor and dignity than even the main role of district director. So yeah, that's the beauty of Toastmasters. We never let our people go. We always hold them in the highest respect. Once a district leader, always a district leader, or for that matter, international director, international president. They're equally held in equal esteem even today, no matter how long ago their tenure was. And that is what I find as one of the best attributes of Toastmasters. We value people, we value their leadership, we value the time that we spend with them, and we value their contribution, no matter whether it's going on right now or whether it's in the past. So with that, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our journal evaluator, who is Cassandra. So over to you, Madam Cassandra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tal Muhammad. I'd like to introduce you, our guests and members, to our grammarian of the day, Mario. Mario, can you let our members and guests know what your role is for today as grammarian?
Greetings, everyone. Mario here reporting from Slovenia, and I'll be your grammarian for today. I'll be keeping track of good usage of grammar mistakes, mispronunciations, and things to improve on so we can become better speakers ourselves. Today's theme is celebrating excellence. And the word of the day is exuberance, meaning the quality of being full of energy. An example would be after your winning home run, the fans ran onto the field and in their exuberance carried you off on their shoulders. The provided example is in the chat. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for that excellent example. And now for our timer, who is Miss Carolyn Douglas. Carolyn, would you please explain your role for timer for this evening, for this morning?
Thank you so much. My role as the timer is to look at the timing and to monitor the timing of various roles. For example, with our speakers for today, we have two. We have a 20-minute speech that will occur. I will show the timing as follows. Well, they're coming up, I promise you. All right, for green, at 18 minutes, I will show the yellow at 19 minutes, and I will show the red at 20 minutes, and there will be 30 seconds to wrap the speech up. In terms of the Q&A, which is for 5 minutes, I will show the green at 3, I will show the yellow at 4 minutes, and I will show the red at 5. And that will be for that particular one. 30 seconds to wrap that one up. For our second speaker, it is 5 to 7 minutes. I will show at 3 minutes, I will show the green. At 4 minutes, I will show, I will show the green at 4. I will show the yellow at 6 minutes. And I'm sorry, I just had somebody to ring my doorbell and it has thrown me off completely. I will start that over because I do not want there to be any confusion. For the 5 to 7 minute speech, I will show the green at 5 minutes. I will show the yellow at 6 minutes. I will show the 7 at red. I will show the red at 7 minutes, and there will be 30 seconds to wrap that speech up. Then we have our speech evaluators. Do you want me to go through that or wait a little bit later?
Go through.
All right, I will go for it. For our speech evaluators, each evaluator has 2 to 3 minutes to give their evaluation. At 2 minutes, I will show the green. I will show the yellow at 2.5 minutes. And at 3 minutes, I will show the red, and you have 30 seconds to wrap it up. The third area where we have timing is for our table topics, the impromptu speeching. It is from 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you will have qualified for the impromptu speech. I will show the green. At 1.5 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I will show the red, and you have 30 seconds to wrap it up. I invite everyone to avail themselves to remember the timing. If I need to repeat it, please feel free to ask me to do that. But timing is really important to us. We like to start on time and end on time, and it will serve us in the long run. Back to you, General Evaluator.
And thank you. This concludes this portion of our timing, rules, and grammarian. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. And we are exactly on time. And now it's time for me to introduce the first speech, the epic, the one for the ages, the keynote. It will be evaluated by Toastmaster Alex Baelish, who will be introducing the project details. But I will introduce the speaker. And the speaker is our very own Marie Shai King. Here's her intro. Starting July 1, Marie Shai King will be Leaders Worldwide VP of Pathways and an Area Director of District 57, D3. Marie is a self-published author, mental health professional, motivational speaker, and certified domestic violence facilitator as CEO of Victory Over Violence, LLC. I wasn't kidding when I said that Leaders Worldwide is filled with legends, and she is one of them. I'll hand over the control now to Toastmaster Alex Baelish to introduce the project. Over to you, Toastmaster Baelish.
Okay. So her project is Pathways Dynamic Leadership, Level 5 elective, prepare to speech professionally, 18 to 22 minutes. The name of the project title is Charting Your Path. Dee Marie Shy King. Back to you.
It looks
Do
like
I have-
Tala has dropped off.
Okay.
Didn't pay the light bill. If you're ready, Dee Marie, do we? Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure.
Fellow Toastmasters, have you ever asked yourself, did I make the right decision? Did I do the right thing when I joined Toastmasters? Esteemed guests, are you sitting there thinking, is this where I really should be? Is this what I need to be doing at this time in my life? If either of you are asking that question, my message today is specifically for you. I want you to join me as we discover the excellence that you will find laced throughout everything that is Toastmasters. I want you to understand why I feel so exuberant about being a member of Toastmasters. And that journey starts with Ralph Smedley in 1924. He decided that there should be a format or a platform that corporations could use to enhance the communication and leadership skills of their CEOs and their top line supervisors. So that is how Toastmasters started. But it didn't take it long before it became this phenomenal, excellent, impactful demonstration of communication and leadership skills that it is today. With over 340,000 members worldwide and some 140 countries around the world, and 16,000 plus clubs throughout this massive empire that we know as Toastmasters. Now, how did we get there? How did it get to be what it is today? And my wish and hope is that for someone like Dee Ray, who expressed all the exuberance and enthusiasm that we would want to see in a new member, we hope, and it is my sincere desire, that everything that she is looking for will be fulfilled in Toastmasters. Here at Leaders Worldwide, excellence is one of our core principles. And we're going to strive in every way that we can to be sure that she receives what she came here for. We want her to be that dynamic speaker. We want her to be an enhanced leader. She sounded humble, but she sounded very excited about the journey that she has embarked on. So let's take a look at how she can get to do some of the things that she's wanting to do. There is something within Toastmasters that's called pathways. I am passionate about pathways because once I became involved in Toastmasters, I accidentally or on purpose, I can't remember how it really happened, but I found out about something called a DTM, a Distinguished Toastmaster. And when I found out that I had to complete 2 pathways to get there, I was off to the races. I even earned the Triple Crown Award in my effort to get there. I was so passionate and so anxious to find out what I needed to do. And I was told the first thing was to complete 2 pathways. And I did that. I started out with presentation mastery. Oh my goodness, 5 levels, all kinds of communication skills. I remember when I had to give a persuasive speech. That meant that I had to say something that would convince the person that was listening that they needed to do what I was saying. And my call to action had to be strong enough to make them want to get out there and try it. That was exciting. Then when I had to reflect on that particular pathway, that was even more exciting. I had an opportunity to look back at everything that I had learned and everything that I had done. And one of the things that I did, it said that I had to develop a social media platform. Wow. For me, that was saying I need to go deep sea diving in the ocean because I am not techno savvy, okay? But what I decided to do to make that work and fill two needs at one time, I developed a room on a social media platform called Clubhouse. Oh my goodness, that was phenomenal. The first time that I opened that room on Clubhouse, I had 100 people to show up. Had no idea what to do with them or how to manage it. But all because I was following the guidelines set forth in Pathways, Presentation Mastery. Then for my next pathway, I decided that I would challenge myself. I'm someone who comes across as not being funny, very serious-minded, not a funny bone in my body, and I promise you that is true. I decided to do engaging humor. I said, you know, if I can use this to help me overcome my own challenges, that's what I have to do. Was I scared? Absolutely. I'm not funny. How was I going to come up with humor? But I knew that if I got this pathway based on what I had learned in presentation mastery, it just might take me to the next level. Now, I can't say that it did, because when I completed that pathway, I didn't feel any funnier then than I do today. And I'm laughing because it is a joke. But let me tell you what engaging humor actually did for me. There's something else in Toastmasters that's called table topics. And this is where you do impromptu speaking extemporaneously. I was in a table topics room, and out of the blue, the table topics master said, today, we're going to be giving an emoji to each speaker, and the speaker is to tell us how they would react or how they would look as that emoji. Immediately, I thought, I don't even like emojis. So I was sitting there trying to figure out a way to just shoot down that question completely when she got to me. I'm not doing this. I don't know anything about emojis and I don't like them. Let me tell you, when she got to me, she said, Dee Marie, I want you to pretend that you are a cricket. What? The emoji that I'm going to give you is that of a cricket. So you know you have 30 seconds to think up a response. And my mind is going, how do I shoot this down? What do I say? A cricket. So my response was, in a very exuberant way, how dare you think that I'm as noisy as a cricket? Those little creatures are so noisy. Why would you think that I could be that noisy? If I hear a cricket in my house at night, I can't sleep. I have to get up and find the cricket and stop the noise. They're just chirping and that sound is everywhere. And I said, you were giving out emojis. The emoji that would fit this scenario in my mind would be Pac-Man, because I remember Pac-Man as that little thing that went across the screen, eating up everything in his path. And what I would want Pac-Man to do is eat the cricket. I don't know where that came from, but everyone on the stage was in stitches. It wasn't intended to be humorous or funny, but by going through engaging humor, I had mastered an art and a skill that I never knew I possessed. I had people laughing and smiling. And what I understand about humor now is you don't have to fall over in the aisle and roll over in the floor with laughter. But what humor does, it causes you to relax. It causes you to relate to the presenter or the speaker in a different kind of way. And we all know that laughter is good for the soul. So it causes you to just de-stress. I was so grateful for that question because it helped me to demonstrate that I really had learned something from engaging humor. Now, the next pathway that I chose is effective coaching. And the reason why I chose that pathway is because before you can coach someone else, you have to be coachable. It's just like that saying that goes, in order to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. So if you are coachable, you can turn around and coach somebody else. So I'm expecting this pathway to teach me whether I'm coachable or not, and if I possess the skills to coach someone else. But what I want you to see in all three of the pathways that I chose, you can pick the pathways that are going to help you to enhance whatever you know to be a challenge. Don't shy away from it, to coin a phrase. And don't be afraid of meeting your challenges head on. Had I not chosen engaging humor, I may have gone in a whole different direction with that cricket and tried to identify how I could make that chirping sound myself, but I knew that was not for me. What Toastmasters had done for me is to give me enough enthusiasm to where I feel exuberant on so many occasions, especially when I have to answer a table topics question. But Leaders Worldwide has pushed me, sometimes thrown me under the bus, it would seem, to become my best self in a very good way because of the excellence that Leaders Worldwide stands for. So Toastmasters International, wow. It's a platform through the Pathways presentation that has over 300 competencies that you can acquire when completing the pathways. And there are 11 distinct pathways. And I was elected to what is known as the VP of Pathways, Vice President of Pathways with Leaders Worldwide. So I'm taking a firm responsibility of making everyone understand the excellence that's inherent in learning the pathways and acquiring the qualities that each strategic training module has in store for you. I look forward in my path through pathways to that last slide where you have these people that are clapping their hands, which means you have completed the pathway. You have done all the things that were required and you are now finished with that pathway. Because when you complete those pathways, what you have actually done is completed 5 levels, challenges along the way, some that are mandated that you have to do this or that, but then you have a selection of options that you can pick and choose to get those 5 levels in each pathway. Pathways is strategically planned to enhance your communication skills and to have you develop your leadership skills in a way that you become a team player. I can't say enough about it, but let me tell you how it will benefit you. If you list that you're a member of Toastmasters on an application, enough said. That employer knows and understands that you're on a path to becoming the best that you can be as a speaker and as a leader. So all that's going to do is enhance your chances of acquiring the job that you want. One of the things that employers are looking for is someone who is a team player. My goodness, that's all we do in Toastmasters. And what you will learn from the time you become a member, there's something called feedback that happens when an evaluation of your speech or whatever you have presented is done. And that feedback is a gentle, meaningful way of asking you to listen to what the other person has observed and make changes based on what they've said. You may have been saying or ah, or you may have talked too fast, which was my signature problem when I first started. But learning how to take what's called a pregnant pause for effect and just let what you're saying resonate with the listener. So important, so crucial. Another thing that I was taught, learn what your areas of transparency and vulnerability are. I didn't even understand what that meant. I was told that the more vulnerable you can be, the more impactful your speech will be. It didn't register with me. There again, on another morning, I was given a table topics that said, when was the first time you knew that life was not forever? I had never dealt with that, had never thought about it, but in an effort to come up with an answer quickly, I started talking about my 7-year-old sister that passed away when I was 5. I had not dealt with that issue at all, had not really processed myself through it. And as I began to speak about her death, I could feel my voice quivering. And everybody in the audience were using their emojis, the heart-shaped emoji. Everybody had a heart. So I knew I was in dangerous territory. It was an unseen space. What I know now is you don't talk about things that you haven't healed from. I hadn't healed from that. I can talk about it today. But that day, my voice was quivering. I didn't know what to say next. And since it was a 1 to 2 minute presentation, I was thinking, where is the green color? I need the green color so that I can stop talking. But that was when I knew that death can happen at any time. And that was the first time that I discovered that. So I'm saying all of this to say, Toastmasters and the communication skills that you acquire will help you to learn how to reel your audience in, what to say and what not to say, when to say it, because for me, that should not have been presented that day. But it was a huge learning curve for me. Stay away from things that you have not healed from, that you can't deal with, because you don't need to leave your audience feeling some kind of way. We need to take them there, but we also need to bring them back and let them know that there is life after whatever it is that we've presented. So that was a huge learning experience for me. And what am I saying? If you become totally enthusiastic, if you feel as exuberant about Toastmasters as I do, you will find yourself taking the plunge, stepping out of your comfort zone, trying things that you never thought you could do. And the shocking and surprising part, it works. It all works. You can step out there and make it happen because you're operating within a safe space. You have people who will evaluate you and tell you what it is that you should or shouldn't say or do. I can't think of anything more encouraging, more edifying, and more inspiring than that. I promise you that if you will just trust in yourself, there are so many things that are there that you can prevail yourself on. Another example is I made a goal or set a goal for myself. I don't do New Year's resolutions, but at the beginning of the year, I said, I want to speak, give 6 different speeches by the end of the year. So that meant that I would do a speech every other month. Little did I know that when the International Speech Contest season came upon us, they needed speakers everywhere, all over the globe. I had the unthinkable opportunity of speaking in 10 foreign countries in February, March, and April. I was blown away. I didn't even realize what I was doing. When I stopped and charted the path that I had taken, it was astounding. I had a signature speech that was entitled Put Up or Shut Up, which means do it now and stop procrastinating. And I was out there doing it. The speech was received warmly by all these clubs. Never in my wildest imagination would I have dreamed that I would have been able to make that kind of an impact. So what are your goals? What do you want to do? Is it to give more speeches? Is it to become a dynamic leader? All of that is available to you through the Pathways training modules and here at Toastmasters International. I'm so passionate and excited about the opportunities that are offered. During my introduction, you just heard that I will be the area director for District D3. I'm excited and scared. Now that's a combination that's unusual, and I don't really know how to explain it. I'm excited because I'm passionate about Toastmasters, and scared, yes, I'm stepping into uncharted territory for me. But I've already had 2 other Toastmasters to reach out and say, oh, I'll be your mentor. I'll be your mentor. They're going to help me get through being an area director. That was astounding. But that is the excellence that comes out when you know that you have the ability to be a good leader and you're determined to see that someone else experiences that same feeling of knowing that I can do this, of having the confidence to speak, and then to be able to share your ability with someone else. I'm offering my knowledge and expertise as the Vice President of Pathways because there is a journey that is to be taken. If and when you decide to go on a Pathways particular module or strategic plan, whatever pathways you choose, you're going to need to stay in close touch with me here at Leaders Worldwide and with the Vice President of Education or the Secretary, because once you complete all these different things in your pathway, someone has to put that in the system and let Toastmasters International know, hey, this lady is on a roll. She's done this and she's done that, or he's done this and he's done that. So it's crucial that you stay in touch with the people that can forward that information to the next level. And let Toastmasters International know we have an exuberant, excellent, excited person that's on our team. And we certainly don't want to miss out on any of the phenomenal things that this individual has been doing. So I welcome you. Step aboard and let's see where we can take this together. Back to you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you so much, Dee Marie. That was inspiring. That was inspiring for someone who's completed all 11 parts and has spent past 6 or 7 years in Toastmasters. So if that was inspiring for me, imagine how inspiring it would be for anyone who's comparatively newer to Toastmasters. So we have a 5-minute Q&A session and the floor is open. Just speak up. Anyone who has any questions for Dee Marie.
Well,
So Tyler, I received one question.
All
And
right.
that is, how do I get started in Pathways? That was an excellent question. And one of the ways that you can get started, the first pathway comes with your membership.
Yeah.
It's free, and all you have to do is select the pathway that you want and begin to follow the guidelines or the instructions that are listed in that pathway. And once you complete that pathway, each additional pathway will cost you $20. I don't know anywhere in America or anywhere else for that matter that you can get the quality and the kind of training that you would receive in Pathways for that amount of money. So it's a huge, phenomenal investment in yourself. It speaks to the fact that you require yourself to be excellent. And if you follow the pathways, you will become exuberant, excited, enthused about what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Dee Marie. I believe, and I absolutely agree with you 100%, that the fees, while there are a lot of questions about the impending rise in fees, and also how the same amount is not the same actually across various countries in the world. For example, $60 in Pakistan means a lot more than it does in the US. But even so, despite all that, one thing remains clear, and that is that there's no better value than Toastmasters, no matter where you are in the world. Even here in Pakistan, you end up paying a lot more for any other communication and leadership program than what you pay for Toastmasters. So it's all relative, and Toastmaster remains the best value, not only because you get the top quality learning in the form of pathways, but also that you get to be connected to the best community in the world. So any other questions? Please speak up.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mario.
Where did the inspiration for Pathways Vice President come from? The executive role in the club. How did you come up with the idea for that club officer role?
The Vice President of Pathways?
Yeah.
What I was told is that has been a consideration for some time for Leaders Worldwide, and that they are working to make it a part of Toastmasters International, which it is not at this moment, but is specific to Leaders Worldwide. That's why I said earlier in my presentation, Leaders Worldwide is committed to excellence. And if you have someone that has the VP of Pathways, that person has the responsibility of working with anyone who decides to take on a Pathways module.
I think somebody else needs to speak to that question.
I see a hand raised, Cynthia.
Well, actually, Carolyn, I was going to ask you to speak to it because you are the first, Dee Marie is the first VP of Pathways in Leaders Worldwide, and Tala bin Hamid actually trained the District 57 leaders in VP of Pathways on Saturday. But my understanding is that it's a District 57 creation. So since you're the RDD, can you speak to that, Carolyn?
Actually, the vice president of Pathways came out of a desire to get more people involved in Pathways. District 57 was on the cutting edge, one of the first districts to even premiere the Pathways education program. As a result of that, we needed to have a specific role that would assist members of the clubs in beginning to understand Pathways. So instead of having ambassadors, this position of vice president of Pathways was created. It is not a district level Toastmaster International developed role. It came out of the district. And for a while, it was given credit, but right now it is being revised as a credible role to be used within the district. And it is specifically to have someone as the point person to help with the understanding of Pathways from any member who wants to know about it should be able to go to the vice president of Pathways and get that level of understanding. I'm going to stop my explanation because I am at the 5:15 minutes for the Q&A to be over, and I would be happy to discuss this sometime later. So back to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, District Director Carolyn. And there's an example right in front of us. First of all, not only the District Director is playing the trimer, but she's the hardest on herself. And, you know, that's how you set examples in Toastmasters. So inspiring to see. I believe if there are no more questions, we can move on to our 5-minute break. If you do have questions, feel free to raise them, because versus the agenda, we have saved somehow 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know how or why, but if anyone has any questions, the time is now. Otherwise, we go for a 5-minute break. All right, there being no questions, we move on to a 5 minutes break. It's 11:47 a.m. at your side and p.m. at my side. That's neat. So we'll reconvene at 11:52. Thank you so much, everyone.
Wonderful presentation, Dee Marie. Wow, wow, wow. I'm glad this is recorded. I hope you recorded it individually. I don't know if you did, but that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was very informative. And I like how you talked about becoming humorous. And that actually, I learned a lot from that talk that you gave on developing a keynote, you know, how you can actually do that, because that's something that is interesting to me. So you gave a lot of good pointers. This is really the first time that I could actually listen to what you were saying, and I picked up a lot. So great job, Dee Marie.
Thank you so much, everyone. I've gotten rave comments in the chat, so thank you all for your responses. But I just want you to know that what I said stems from the fact that I have an unmeasurable amount of enthusiasm, exuberance, and whatever you want to call it for Toastmasters. I'm passionate about all things Toastmasters, and when I say that, it's not just verbal usage.
Isaac, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm looking at the recording on YouTube and it has closed captions on and they're incorrect. Can you turn them off?
Sure. Let's see.
They're a bit, I think, delayed and a bit not
The
correct to
thinking
the
that
finest.
Let's see. Caption.
Yeah, it's off like 2-3 seconds. The captions are 3 seconds behind and they're not correct, as any captions would be. I mean, automatic captions.
So what would I need to do on this end? Go to YouTube, or how would I?
You have to turn off closed captions from your end.
Oh, okay, turn it on. Oh, okay.
Off, turn it off, because it's on right now and it's delayed. It's 3 seconds behind and it's not correct. It's not displaying what is said correctly. I'm looking at the YouTube recording now.
Oh, okay. So now I am on the YouTube channel on my computer, and the closed captions is not on, according to what I could see.
Closed captions are really good because there are a lot of hearing impaired people out there, and we want our YouTube channel to be heard by everyone.
No, I meant the closed captions within Zoom are on.
Yes, yes, I know what you mean. They are on in Zoom, and we want them to be on, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're
Okay.
very inclusive of everyone, and we want them to be on, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
15 seconds.
All right, I believe it's 11:52. So we are officially back, although I saw that there was a lot of gossip which I missed. I would have loved to sit here and witness it. But anyhow, so now we resume our agenda, and the next item on our agenda is the next speech, which is by Toastmaster Alex Bellish. Here's the introduction of our speaker. Starting July 1, Alex Bellish will be the Leaders Worldwide Sergeant at Arms. Alex is working on becoming a better speaker to get in front of bigger stages. Along with Toastmasters, he teaches CPR, first aid, and he has been podcasting for over 2 years. We are so lucky to have someone like Alex Bellish. And as I said earlier, everybody at Leaders Worldwide is a star and a legend in their own right. So his evaluator would be, just a second, yeah, our own D. Marie Shy King. So D. Marie, over to you for project details and introduction.
Thank you so much, Tala. Madam, Mr. Toastmaster. So what Alex Bailey's speech will do, it comes first of all from Pathways Dynamic Leadership. It's a level 2 presentation, understanding your communication style, a 5 to 7 minute speech. And the project title is Learning What Type of Speaker I Am. Back to you, Tala.
Just need to fix one thing before I start.
Thank you so much. So everyone, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Alex Bellish.
Good afternoon.
Learning what type of speaker I am. Learning what type of speaker I am, Toastmaster Alex Bellish. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tala. Good morning, good evening to everyone around the world. Today, I was tasked with learning about what type of speaker I am. And when I was doing my research, I always go back to the phrase, knowledge is power. And in this case, knowing the right knowledge and knowing the right terms are always a key to this. But as a CPR instructor, I do know the third reason why people have problems in the hospital is because of communication. And knowing the right communication is the key to success. So I looked at the 4 types: direct, initiating, supportive, analytical. And I'm looking at my day today, and I kind of did a little bit of everything. So I don't know what my style is. If people know me, and if you ask my wife, I'm probably more direct and non-direct at certain times. And if you certainly ask my daughter, who's 8, you'll definitely find out that I am pretty direct with her. Meaning, get to the point, here we go, this is what we need to do. In my business life and in my social life, again, sometimes you have to be direct and sometimes you have to be not so direct. The same thing with my daughter and with my clients. I had a CPR class right before today. Had some people that had some challenges. So we needed to find some workarounds and be supportive. Listen, see what their problem was and fix it so that they could be in a position to be successful. That said, when I do teach my classes, and I should try to do this more with the rest of my speaking and communication, I should be more analytical and am more analytical when it comes to my job. But just like anything, my exuberance does come out. So my directness and my supportiveness are all in there. But when I network and I try to learn about people, supportive is great and direct is always great. But the one that I love the most is the one that I think can really be the key as somebody is dropping the mail off in the background, like you had the doorbell before, one of the Toastmasters. You want to initiate. And when I network, I love to be the initiator. And when there's people that are networking in a big room, there's people that initiate and there's wallflowers. And I love wallflowers because if they don't want to talk to anybody, you know what? I'll help. And we'll walk around the room and we'll initiate, and I'll try to be as enthusiastic as I can and show them off. And in turn, I get to find out what those other people are about through that person. And they get a little bit more confidence on networking and feeling as though they're part of this whole process. So when it comes to communication style, I've looked at all the different types. And although I am direct and I am supportive and I try to be analytical, and I keep going back to initiating. And I think that that's the one that I think I love the most. Again, it's a self-evaluation. So what I believe versus what other people believe. I think one of the biggest issues with that particular form is my old football coach would say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You need to use them in that ratio. And I think I need to listen more than I speak. And I think that's a big problem that I need to address, which is everybody's so worried about making your point. You want to explode with your point that you don't listen to that person to make your point better. And I think if I did a little bit more of that, I would be more successful. And that's something that I'm really exploring being a Toastmaster. So in conclusion, I came up with this task. I looked at all the pieces, and I've come up with, I'm a little bit of everything. And depending on the situation, sometimes I'm direct, sometimes I'm analytical, sometimes I'm supportive, and sometimes I'm just a combination of all of it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Timer, back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alex. Now, 1 minute silence for the evaluator before we move on to the next item. All right. I believe 1 minute is over.
Nope,
Oh, all right. All
1 minute is up.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. And now we move on to our table topics section. And table topics will today be conducted by our very own Toastmaster, Sandra Edwards. Before that, though, I will request our timer to recap the timing colors for table topics.
Thank you. Table topics, 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will show the green. At 1.5 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I will show the red, and you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech.
Thank you so much. Now, everyone, please put your hands together for our table topics master, Toastmaster Sandra Edwards. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. So I'm the table topic master, and I have a couple of suggestions here that you're going to like. So we are celebrating excellence today. Excellence and exuberance. Wonderful words. So I wonder who would like to tell me about how they like to be celebrated when they have some excellence that people want to acknowledge them for. So what do you want? What do you want to express that excellence? So who wants to do that? Cynthia, why don't you speak to us about that?
Okay, but I need my camera off. So what's the question again?
Well, I wonder how you would like to be celebrated to show your excellence. Someone wants to celebrate you for being so wonderful? What makes you feel celebrated?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Mhm.
What makes me feel celebrated is a heartfelt thanks. Recognizing what I did and what impact it made. I don't, certificates are nice and plaques are nice for especially for big things. I think that's great, but I really like thanks and recognition for what I'm doing when I do it. I think for me, many people view me kind of like a mother of Toastmasters and a Toastmasters club. And mothers don't receive much thanks. You don't thank your mom for mopping the floor. You don't thank your mom for taking out the garbage when you forgot to. You don't thank your mom for a meal well cooked, especially if it's something you ordinarily have, but it was delicious and nutritious. So recognizing the small things that are done for your mothers, for me, that's really a heartfelt thanks and recognition for what I do is really, really appreciated. Thank you for the question, Sandra. Back to you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. So to have another one. So I would like someone to tell me a time when you experienced exuberance. So who would like to do that?
Denise has her.
Okay.
Okay, and then Denise after, because she raised her hand there.
No, go with Denise.
What?
No, go with Denise.
And Denise, you have to unmute yourself. And let's hear from Isaac after Denise. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you, and bear with me. I'm figuring this out and I have you on my phone. So, okay, let's see here. So the question was, or is, time experienced exuberance when, someone was celebrating what you said. So the time that I feel exuberance or excitement is when what I said was truly understood by the person I'm talking to, because oftentimes there's lots of variables, there's lots of interpretations. You have words that are Webster's dictionary, and then you have so many emojis, and a lot of those emojis people can interpret in all different ways. So the time when I experience embrace in somebody celebrating what I said is when I really understand that they truly understood me. Because sometimes, no can mean yes. And you say something and they're like, yes. And I'm thinking, you didn't understand what I said because I kind of expected you to say no. So with that being said, I love it. And when I get really excited anyway, but I can bullet point too. When I know that the person that I'm speaking with really understood what I was saying, they didn't have to completely get it. I was talking to some people yesterday that I felt like I was in awe, as I'm in awe today with you, because it was unexpected as well. And this gentleman said to me, who unbelievable that I wasn't even in the room with him yet. He was talking to me. He said there are people who get it and there are people who don't. And that's okay. It takes all people. But he said, Denise, I can tell you get it. And I was just, I use a lot of words. I'm a storyteller, photographer, writer, all that kind of fun stuff. I was so excited that he said that and acknowledged that I really, even when I was interrupting him, I was telling my stories or what have you, that I really understood what he was saying. And he listened to the things I said. And, even when I kind of went out there, off of my trunk and I went out on a branch and maybe I, jumped to another tree, I could bring it back. He truly understood what I said. So that when someone understands me, because, not understanding is frustrating. And usually we can tolerate it and you kind of figure it out. You navigate through that all the time. It's life. But, and yeah, so there you go. When someone understands me, that really lights me up. And when I understand them, and you know what? I don't know, okay, underneath that, I really don't know. And that kind of lights me up too, because we're here, exactly where we're meant to be. I don't know why, but it's okay, because there's a lot of things that I know within the don't know. And there's a lot of things I like to talk about and I get excited, or other times I can bullet point. So yeah, thank you again for what you guys do. It's humbling to me. So that's it. I'm finished. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, let's do another one. Maybe, Isaac, maybe you can tell us of a time you experienced exuberance.
Thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics Master. Well, actually, it happened 3 days ago. We were celebrating Rose Lane. She was the founder of the Toastmasters Club that I joined. And she was like really, she was my mentor, because she was so bubbly and so, she was like Cynthia in a way. I used to call her Mrs. Toastmastery, because she always thought Toastmasters. But anyway, so they were having her celebration at our Toastmasters meeting. And so they were asking questions about how Rose influenced you. And so I stood up and I said, I remember when I first joined Toastmasters and I was given a speech about Compton, because I lived in Compton and Compton was getting such a bad rap in the news. And so I was giving this speech on it. And while I was giving the speech, I kind of teared up a little bit. And at the end of the speech, when I sat down, Rose came up to me and said, "You're not supposed to cry. The audience is supposed to cry." And that stuck with me, because as a speaker and learning speaking, true, you could be emotional about stuff and people can, get that feeling because they can tell you are emotional about it. But I've always thought about that, and it just reminded me of two things. And the one thing is a saying that I heard recently is that you can talk about your scars, but not from your wounds. And that was something that kind of just stuck with me. So back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. That was great. Really great. Thank you. Well, that is probably the end of Table Topics, unless we have time for another one.
If you wish, Sandra, we can do another one. We have time.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, we have time.
Well, okay. I will ask someone how you would like to be celebrated how would you like to be celebrated for your excellence? Let's see, who should I ask? Oh, well, who wants to speak to that? You want, oh, please, yes. Dee Marie. Yes?
I would like to be remembered and celebrated as someone who loves people. I've devoted 25 years of my life as a psychiatric registered nurse. I went into that field because I felt that people who are mentally challenged deserve the same quality of care as someone who's just sick and in the hospital. But for some reason, society has separated those two things. They see mental illness or mental challenges as, ugh. I even had people to say, oh my God, you're not doing that. Yes, I'm doing that. I had faith, I loved my patients, and I helped them to rise to levels that I never thought possible. They acted out the parts in a Christmas cantata. They acted out a one-act play on a unit where they were all women as they learned how to model. They actually modeled clothes, turned and paraded and did their thing. You could tell by the expressions on their faces that they knew they had stepped outside their comfort zone and they were so comfortable with it. So I'd like to just be remembered as someone who did everything in her power to make the least of thee know that they had been celebrated and appreciated for who they were. I'm being
Oh.
incomplete.
That was beautiful. Thank you. And I appreciate you. So, thank you. Back to you, somebody.
So
Toastmaster.
much. Thank you so much. That was such a phenomenal table topic section, as always. And I have to point it out that leaders worldwide with the table topic section have a life of their own. They're never run of the mill. And the topics and the responses both are soul stirring, to say the least. Now we move on to the what you'd call the meat and potatoes of Toastmasters, and that is evaluation and feedback. Because elsewhere you may see speeches, elsewhere you may see extempore speaking, but you will never see evaluation like you see in Toastmasters. And today our evaluator is our incoming VP of Education, Cassandra Garbedian. So over to you, Adam, once again.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. And now this comes to our section of the timing where we asked our timer once again to come and give us the timing for our evaluation.
Our speech evaluators have 2 to 3 minutes to do their evaluation. At 2 minutes, I will show the green. At 2.5 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 3 minutes, I will show the red. And the speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up their speech. Back to you, evaluator, general evaluator.
Thank you so much for that. So for speaker, evaluator for speaker number 1, could you please?
I believe that's me. It's Alex Bailish. I evaluated Dee Marie. It's very difficult to evaluate someone that is so polished as Dee Marie is. She has a way of speaking that really threads the needle between stories. And it's always a pleasure to hear her speak. I love the use of your pauses, your hands, the great stories, how you used your weakness as a strength. I loved how you used different examples. I think sometimes, and you said this in your speech, your passion, like me, gets ahead of you and you rush a little bit much. You know, I'm being nitpicky because it's such a great speech. I think your reach goal should really be to think about making this speech, either work on the speech, because you can always work on a speech, but maybe breaking it up into smaller speeches so you could use it for publication, not publication, but as commercials for the club or for Toastmasters. These are things that you may want to think about. And I think that your passion for pathways could be a key for others to get that passion as well. So I really believe if you break each pathway down with the passion that you have for it, the enthusiasm, the exuberance, you could have something really special, like the book that you self-published. So there is that food for thought. All in all, I just think you did a great job. And every time I hear you speak, I learn something. So thank you so much for letting me evaluate you. I am done. Back to you. I think it goes back to the general evaluator. Is that correct?
Yes. Cassandra?
Okay, we're gonna get a minute on the clock. And now for evaluator number 2, D. Marie King. Your evaluation.
Oh my goodness. I have found Alex to be someone who is passionate about doing an excellent job. He has a certain exuberance where he wants to do an excellent job in Toastmasters. He wants to be a Leaders Worldwide phenom, and he's well on his way. When he said knowledge is power, that's an expression that we are all familiar with, but it gave us an opportunity to realize where he was heading. And he said, I don't know what my style is. When we can just openly and honestly admit that we don't know, that's the first step toward finding out what it is we need to know. His gestures were great. He used his hands in a phenomenal way. I love the way he explained the 4 different styles of communicating. He said supportive, direct, analytical, and initiative. But the type that he thinks that he likes the most is to initiate communication, because he can then take the wallflower and say, come, let's do this, let's talk about that, and pull that person out of their propensity to be just that, a wallflower. He also said that he self-evaluates. He evaluates himself to try and see what is it that he could have done better than he did. He had told us that his coach said that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you need to listen more than you talk. That bears paying attention to by all of us. If I were to offer any stretch goals for Alex, I would say that his vocal variety could be dealt with somewhat. And what I've had to do is to put my laptop up on 3 different things in order for it to be even with my eyes, because it seemed as though you were looking down, and I know that was probably why, because of the positioning of your laptop. That would make a world of difference. So what I do is I have 3 different boxes. My bedroom is my studio, and I have 3 different boxes. And when I'm standing, I use all 3. But like I'm seated now, I only have 2. So you have to decide where you're going to get your eye contact. I know you were giving us good eye contact, but that would help to make that even more visible. I love the way you summarized your styles of speaking, because you wanted to be sure that you drove home your point. So I don't know about you, but I think I understand now what your style of speaking is. Back to you, Madam Timer.
Okay, and now our grammarian, Mario. Would you like to give us your?
All right. Marie, during your speech, you used exuberant 4 times. I love how you added enthused, which is a verb of enthusiastic or enthusiasm, and I'm glad to learn another variation of that, enthuse. You said techno savvy, it's tech savvy. The phrases that you used, which I like, is laughter is the gift for the soul, which I completely agree. Not a funny bone in my body, that makes me chuckle. Let's see. When you said I can feel my voice quiver, it would have been nice that you actually quivered with your voice to further emphasize that. That would have been nice to hear. I can feel my voice quiver. Just that little vibration would have added extra effect. That's a little minor detail. Over to second speaker, Alex. Used exuberant once. I'm a little bit of everything. What you could have used here, a combination of many things, or just throw in the word eclectic to mix it up a bit. Eclectic is a collection of, has a taste of various different things in different areas. So you're comprised of everything in you is what you meant to say, but you can use the word eclectic. That also expressed that. And you had word repetition twice. Over to our evaluator, which is again Alex. He had one and he said there is towards the end, because I could hear that your mouth was dry. There is that food for thought, because you were searching for words, and sometimes when we stutter, when we have dry mouth, there is that we want to finish the sentence, but we stutter because of nervousness, and we have dry mouth. You said to speech professionally at the very beginning of the evaluation. It was a Freudian slip to speak professionally, but is a minor stuff. Second evaluator, DeMarie, used exuberant once. I love how you said he wants to be a leader's worldwide phenom instead of phenomenon. That's a nice little variation on the word phenomenon. Propensity is a word I haven't heard in a long time, and you had one so and one word repetition and when you were trying to connect two sentences, like a transition between two key points. Sandra, our table topics master, overall you used the word of the exuberant once. You had three one so, and then you combined two filler words. Well, let's see, you can completely omit that by just jumping straight to the question. First table topic speaker, Cynthia. No comments here. Denise, you used so 4 times, 7 times. You had a lot of filler words, but it's understandable because you are a newcomer. So make sure you replace those filler words with silence. Yeah, and so you sometimes combine 3 into 1. So be wary of that. And I love how you use the phrase, when somebody understands me, that lights me up. That really vividly explained you explained a part of yourself to the club. Third speaker, Isaac. At the beginning, you stuttered a bit and used a lot of, well, actually, and so, and prolonged at the beginning of your speech, but towards the end you were fluent and I couldn't pick up on anything. And I love how you mentioned the word Mrs. Toastmastery. That really made my day. And the phrase at the end, you can talk about your scars, but not from your wounds. That was very deep and impactful. And DeMarie, our fourth speaker, table topics, they was so comfortable with it. I think that's a dialect. There were, instead of there was, so comfortable with it. From the general evaluator, I didn't pick up anything. From the timer, our district director, you sometimes use where instead of where, so that's a minor detail. And every time you mention the timing lights, you always added I will show, I will show, I will show. You can just say at 5 minutes green, at 6 minutes yellow. You can completely omit the I will show because it was repetitive and you used it each time you were presenting the timing lights. Otherwise, the rest is good. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Mario, for that report. And now for our timer, Ms. Carolyn Douglas.
Thank you so much. I will give a very detailed report of the timing because each speaker really wants to know whether or not for this program, if they hit the mark for the timing that was prescribed by the projects. So for DeMarie, having a keynote speech that was to go between 18 to 22 minutes, you spoke for 19 minutes and 31 seconds. For Alex, who did a traditional 5 to 7 minute speech, you spoke for 5 minutes and 45 seconds. For our table topic speakers, the speech was to be between 1 to 2 minutes. Cynthia Stott spoke for 1 minute, 23 seconds. Denise spoke for 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Isaac Ford, 2 minutes and 7 seconds, and DeMarie, 1 minute and 23 seconds. Now, for the speech evaluators, Alex spoke for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and DeMarie, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Out of our various speakers, we only have one that exceeded the time. Everyone else was within time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And back to our Toastmaster. Or President, I'm sorry. President Tala.
Thank you so much. And yes, I'm also the Toastmaster, so you're right. All right. So what an exuberant meeting today. It was magical, in fact, listening to the keynote. It takes me back to the good old days when Leaders Worldwide used to have a keynote in every speech, in every meeting. It was great to see keynote as part of DeMarie's pathway journey. And I think we should all congratulate her in advance for completing the path, because she is this close. So congratulations. And what's more, beyond just getting through the levels and getting to level 5 and your project, what really gets me is the mastery and the prowess that you show in your speaking, which means that you have internalized and you've taken benefit of everything that you've learned during your journey. And that's far more important than the actual certification that you're about to get. So absolutely phenomenal job. And then we have second speaker, Toastmaster Alex. And it is always a real struggle to fit all the communication styles into 5 to 7 minutes and then make a story. Anybody who has done this project knows that it's a real challenge to make it interesting, but you managed to do both. Congratulations on that, well within time. In fact, you didn't even cross 6 minutes, so absolutely fantastic. And then table topics, as always, inspiring. So now that we're getting to the end of the meeting, I would hand over the charge to our resident sage, and replace her with Dumbledore or Yoda or whoever your favorite mentor is. She's also a founder of this club and the acting VP Education. So over to you, DTM Cynthia, for booking the slots for the next meeting.
Thank you. Dumbledore. Wow. What an high honor. Wow. I'm really impressed. So I'm going to do this quickly so we can get to our takeaways and chocolates or treats and what you learned from this meeting, what you're taking away with you. Next week is July 3rd, the night before the holiday. We're meeting at 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have a full schedule. We have all our roles filled. Thank goodness. Thank you so much. We're inducting our new officers, and our ceremony is being conducted by none other than past International Director Greg Scott. And he will also be giving us a speech about being an international director and what that brought to him personally and professionally, as well as we will have an address from our member, Linda Patton, who is the new new club growth director, the first rung of the trio of leaders in District 57. And she will give us some lessons learned, and also a vision for what she sees for District 57 this next year, starting July 1st. And our table topics are going to be conducted by our brand new president, DTM Rosemary Sweeney. So it's really power packed. We only have one person here to confirm the role. That's Sandra Edwards. You're scheduled to be a timer, and I know that that's not something that you're very comfortable with. So I was wondering if Carolyn Douglas will be attending next week, 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do you think, does that suit your schedule, Carolyn? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, it's on my schedule. If I'm not able to attend, I'll let you know.
Okay, because I think if you did a fabulous job today with timing, and since it's kind of a big event, it might be a little overwhelming for Sandra.
Mhm.
So how do you feel about that, Sandra? And then we can have you time at one of our other meetings on July 10th. That would be great.
Oh, that is just fine with me, Caroline. You know, I just take up the timing spot when it's needed, not because she's right, not because I'm comfortable with it. But you seem very comfortable with it, and you know exactly what to say and what to do, and that looks better to me.
Keep us
Just a
moving.
stickler.
We love sticklers, and we appreciate you, Sandra, for taking up the timing role, even though it's not your favorite thing. You did excellent with the table topics today. I think you are a phenomenal table topics master.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Okay, so for July 10, we do have the timing role available. It's at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Would you like to take that up, Sandra?
Oh, I wasn't listening very well. Would you like to go over that again?
Sure. So in 2 weeks from today, it's at the same time, which is 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And we do need a timer for that day.
You know, I'm not usually available for the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have all the spots available except for Carrie Kelly will giving a 7-minute speech, and she will evaluate. So we have speaking spots available and Toastmaster and all the other spots available. Does anyone want to take up a speaking role?
One question, Cynthia, this is for 10th of July, correct?
10th of July.
I'll
Yes.
take grammarian and timer, both.
Great. And Cassandra, could you write these down for me? Because it's hard for me to write. And is she on, Cassandra? Oh, she's off. DeMarie, can you write them down for me? Would that be okay? To write down grammarian and timer for guest Mario
And
on
that's
July
for-
10th.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
July 10th. And then I saw your hand raised. Would you like to take a role, DeMarie?
I'd like to speak.
Okay. And Carolyn Douglas, hands up also.
Speaker.
Speaker, yay! Okay. Whoa, DeMarie, you're going to be speaking alongside Carolyn Douglas. Whoa, okay. 7 minutes for both of you, is that right? Or do you want a
I
longer?
don't know. I'll let you know because I've got lots of speeches from this year that I need to do.
Okay, and you're okay doing that in July, because that will make 3 speakers, because it's Carrie Kelly, DeMarie, and Carolyn Douglas. So we have room for 4, so you could have a longer speech, Carolyn.
All right.
Absolutely. So let me know as soon as possible if you're going to do a longer speech, and I'll reserve that spot and take the 4th out.
Sure, that'd be
Raised his
fine.
hand. This,
Yeah.
Cynthia, if there is room for another speech after Carolyn decides, then I'd like to take that slot. Otherwise, we can have just 3 speeches. All right.
Okay, so then Carolyn, you can just decide if it's going to be 7 minutes or a longer speech.
Yeah,
and then that
exactly.
will decide it.
Okay.
And DeMarie, can you put Tala as a 4th speaker?
I
If
have
there's
that
room.
down. I have it down.
Oh,
Paula,
as a
Dee Marie,
Cassandra, great. I didn't hear
Carolyn,
you.
and Carrie. And then for grammarian and timer, it's Mario.
Okay. And Dee Marie, do you want to also be an evaluator?
Yes, I can evaluate.
Okay. How about you, Carolyn? Do you want to be an
No.
evaluator? No. Okay.
I'm gonna either be a speaker or an evaluator. I'm not. gonna
Okay.
be both.
Okay, great. And then Tala, would you like to be a speaker and an evaluator?
Yeah, sure, I could be.
Okay, and Carrie's going to do both as well. So we need another evaluator. Yeah, and a Toastmaster of the day. Is anybody up for being a Toastmaster? Maybe you, Isaac?
Yeah, I could do Toastmaster.
Toastmaster. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, and I'll end there and give it back to Tala for our takeaways and treats. Thank you, Tala.
All right. So now we are back to the fun part of the meeting, which is giveaways. And today I'll go old school and stick to chocolates because I've pretty much run out of weird things to give away. I can't think of one now. So we'll be back to chocolates. And our first recipient would be Toastmaster Denise, who will tell us what you're taking away from the meeting. And as a reward, you'll receive a bucket load of virtual chocolate of your choice. You're muted, Denise. You're muted. Still muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now we can. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My takeaway is to listen and you will learn. I listen in my, I talk a lot, but I listen, but not but. I'm taking away listening and I'm going to learn, show me, don't tell me kind of thing. Can't unring those bells. In that trauma of that, good or bad, whatever that is, it's all good here. We're right here. It's, where we all are, but I feel like it's exactly where I'm meant to be. Forget the and I learned about, I'm taking away space and a pause in place of those filler words that I use a lot, so's and ands and so I didn't realize that I was doing that a lot, even though I know. That's something that I took away today. And if I look at some of my goals, is really to shore it up. I can go from bullet point to huge storytelling, but to really find with your audience how much time you have, to be efficient in what I'm doing and in my own efficiency, just to keep getting better every day. So I'm looking forward to listening to all of you and all that I'm going to learn, and I already have. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So what kind of chocolate do you like?
I like chocolate covered cherries, specifically the ones with the liquid.
All right, so I'm throwing you a lot of them. Please be careful, don't let them spill. So there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I sneaked a few off for myself.
Okay, I'm going to put them over here.
Yeah, and
Thank
trust me, Denise, let me tell you, I think every Toastmaster will second me. Having too much to say and not enough time is always preferable than not having enough to say. So you've got a lovely problem there. And we'd love to listen to you and Trust me, that's a better problem to have than the other way around. You're already on your way to great things in Toastmasters. So next we move on to someone who is always a pillar of strength. And just like a pillar, he's silent most of the time. Sergeant at Arms, Isaac Ford. So what are you taking?
Well, thank you. I am taking away how many good speakers we got in this club. And I've actually learned a lot from Carol as a timer because she was very efficient at introducing the segments and the timing of it. So I'm taking away that because I do time on occasion. So I'm taking that away from Carol. And again, all the speeches I thought were fabulous. And I liked how Sandra did her table topics, because I like when you ask questions where you have to think, not just a yes or no. So I thought that that was good. And so I'm taking away a lot. It was a good meeting. I enjoyed it. And as far as chocolates, white chocolate almonds. I don't know if there's such a thing, but if you could make that up and throw it to me, I would eat it up. Thank you.
Actually, I just had a truffle-like thing today that was actually a white chocolate-covered almond. So we may have a strange connection or something. I'm spooked. I'm spooked, honestly, because when I unwrapped it, I picked it up from the supermarket. I did not see that it was white chocolate. When I got home, I opened it and it was all white because I was expecting chocolate. And when I ate it, I thought to myself that, all right, that must be the only white chocolate-based treat on the planet with an almond at the center. So yeah, I'm not making that up, by the way. So okay, I'm taking that box and I'm throwing it your. So over to you. All right. Next, our District Director, Carolyn. What are you taking away from this meeting?
I am taking away the fun and the caring and the exuberance that was expressed by many fully present in the meeting. And my favorite chocolate covered nut is walnut. So I want chocolate covered walnuts.
All right. There you go, Carolyn. And
Thank you. I receive it.
hope you enjoyed it. All right. Next, we have our journal evaluator, Cassandra, wearer of many hats. What are you?
I am taking away the passion and the exuberance that was displayed today in this meeting. Every role player, every speech that was spoken today, everyone just put forth so much effort and so much of themselves. From the guest Mario, that did such a superb job as the grammarian. Thank you so much, Mario. Superb job. To our DeMarie, what an excellent speech. To Alex for being so authentic. It came through. To just the evaluations. And to our new member for just coming on and just being yourself and being you. Thank you. Thank you to all. It was a great meeting. Thank you. I'm taking that away.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. And what will be your chocolate?
Chocolate strawberries.
All right. Chocolate covered strawberries coming your way.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you, President.
And if I look at Dee Marie today, you're kind of reminding me of chocolate covered strawberries, the color combination that you're wearing. So it's only fitting that we ask you next. What are you taking?
That is not what I'm going to ask for, so don't even take me there, okay?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
But let me tell you, my takeaway for today, the meeting was fabulous. And the thing that I am always amazed at, we are grown, mature adults who conduct this phenomenal meeting. And at the end, we sit and catch imaginary objects in the sky. How cool is that? So my takeaway is that everyone has an imagination that spans past anything I could think of. Because what I want you to toss to me now is just a plain dark chocolate. I think that would make my day.
All right. Here's your dark chocolate, Dee Marie.
Thank you.
And we pledge never to speak of chocolate covered strawberries in your presence ever again, if that will please you, Your Majesty. So, and yes, I second you. Every time a Leaders Worldwide meeting ends, I truly am overwhelmed by what we just experienced. It's truly greater than the sum of its parts. Like whatever we are individually, we achieve much more collectively. There is something magical about it all. And I'm so grateful for that. So next, we have our superstar grammarian of the day, Mario. What are you taking away from the meeting?
Well, I was also keeping track of time because it's pretty much become a habit at this point. At this point, because I've been a general evaluator and timer so many times, even at the meeting twice, it's kind of second nature to me. And looking at the agenda, again, Talha, it's up to you. You're the Toastmaster, but we had like time for 2-3 table topics. I didn't want to go, but I was just seeing how the group reacts, and sometimes you have to cut it short, which is also nice. Overall, I saw the agenda and I saw I had only 2 minutes to allotted time for the grammarian report, and I just cut like 60% of what I wanted to say. It would have been 4 or 5, and I saw 2 minutes, keep it simple. And I tried my finest. Usually I share my screen and it kind of reveals too much, so I decided just keep it professional and succinct. As for delicatesse of the as a takeaway, I'll say creme brulee, something exotic.
Sorry, come again?
As a delicatesse, sweet, a chocolate.
All right. There you go. And yes, your grammarian report was phenomenal. We can certainly look at allocating a few more minutes because it is so instructive. It is so valuable. And there's no harm. We made good time today. We are in fact ahead of our time even right now. So absolutely, I believe with the consent of our incoming VP Education, perhaps we can allocate 2 more minutes to the grammarian and our agenda so that if someone has more to say, just like Mario did today, then they can find the room to say it. So next we move on to who else but DTM Cynthia Stott. What are you taking away?
Wow, this was a phenomenal meeting. I think it was the very epitome of teamwork makes the dream work at Leaders Worldwide. We work together really well. I so appreciate Mario's willing to come as our guest to be a grammarian and a timer. Wow. And I appreciated that Carolyn Douglas stepped up to be a timer and that she even said, I love being a timer. She really values timing. And many DTMs say DTM means do not time me. They don't like to be timers. And I appreciate that she appreciates timers because they are so important to us. And I will say, when you were talked about white chocolate almonds, Isaac, I thought about Jordan almonds. When I was a kid, I would wait for weddings because at weddings, they would give away Jordan almonds. And I never got to eat them at any other time of year. So I love the Jordan almonds, but then I'm also tossed between Cassandra's dark chocolate covered strawberries. When I stayed at Silicon Valley for a bank exam, they had a French bakery and they specialized in these beautiful, huge strawberries with the stem on them that were dipped into dark chocolate, and they were just divine. Perfect strawberry, perfect chocolate, perfect combination. So I would like all three. Jordan almonds that have the little white chocolate in the center with a hard candy crust on the outside. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're multicolored, and either one's fine with me. And some strawberries with chocolate drizzled over the top.
So she's putting you to the task, Tyler. Putting you to the task. You've got to be able to balance. Listen, you've got to be able to balance all three in your hand, not dropping it, and then get it off in the air to her. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All the way from Pakistan, too.
It will take some time. It will take Cynthia, it will take some time. I'm not throwing it away right now because it will take some serious prep time. So plus you've gotten me hungry and salivating, which is not appreciated at all. It's 1 a.m. I mean, seriously, do you want me to raid my refrigerator or something? I mean, that was cruel. How could you? So no, no chocolate for you, Cynthia, today.
Too enticing.
All right. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close. And my last meeting as President of Leaders Worldwide. To be very honest, never could I have dreamed that I would preside over a club mostly consisting of native English speakers for a whole year. It has been an honor and a privilege. Every meeting that I've been witness to has enriched me and changed my world in a little bit. And I believe it did the same for everyone. That's the magic of Leaders Worldwide. And what's the beautiful part? The beautiful part is that you may lose, I mean, your term may end, but you remain a Toastmaster. You remain a part of the club. And it is the club, it is the community that lasts forever. Not the designations, not the titles, but the club, the association, the love between us. So I'm truly, truly grateful for everyone who lent their support during the year. We had some turbulent times. We experienced some ups and downs, but nothing that a club does not experience during the course of the year. What really stood out was though, and it sounds like a cliche, but it's true. The way everyone gets together to set things right in this club, it is beyond compare. It is something worth emulating, and it is something worth admiring. So with that, I'm signing off for the last time as your president. And next time, I will be signing in as a president, but the immediate past variety. So
can we all unmute? Can we unmute our mics, please? And we can sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
Love that. I would love that.
Awesome.
For He's a jolly good
fellow. For He's a jolly good fellow. For He's a jolly good fellow. That nobody can deny.
Thank you,
Thank you
Tyler.
so much.
Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you so much. And in 2 days, it's my birthday, so it felt like my birthday already.
Oh,
Absolutely floored
Happy
here.
birthday in advance.